Yeah, I was brought up Catholic. I went to Sunday school for a few years, and by the time I got to the age of about 10 or 11 maybe, I was both bored and frustrated with CCD, they called it. The types of answers they gave were unsatisfying, even to someone that young. They kept saying it's a mystery and things like that. And so I talked my mother into letting me quit Sunday school. She said, then you have to go to church. And then I went to church for a short amount of time and then just sort of abandoned the whole thing. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, we know that people compartmentalize their beliefs quite a bit. And it does always interest me to see someone who's very skeptical of psychic ability or UFOs or Bigfoot or any of this stuff, and then turn around and believe in God or some sort of specific religious belief that also is very similar in terms of its level of support or evidence. So, you know, people have an emotional tie to some things and not others. There's a cultural tie to their beliefs, sometimes a familial tie, and it's just hard for them to apply the same standards that they use on things that they see as obviously crazy.
Do you think it's possible to be a good skeptic and a good Christian at the same time?
I've seen people who are good skeptics who are believers. I mean, they know all the arguments, they know all the explanations for the specific paranormal beliefs or, you know, whatever the extraordinary belief is. But they do have to, they jump ship. I call it the ship of reason. You have to jump ship at some point. So it's frustrating to see that some people don't apply these standards across the board. You know, they can't seem to let go of their religious beliefs. Not only is it okay to be an atheist, it's okay to be skeptical about anything. You shouldn't believe in anything that doesn't have good evidence to support it. That applies to politics, it applies to what car you should buy, what camera or phone you should use, it applies to everything. So get the evidence about anything and make a good decision based on the evidence. So I would say then, clearly the evidence does not support most religious beliefs. If you have the courage to look into that and recognize it for what it is, religion also does not stand the test of evidence or critical thought. You know, I know it's tough sometimes if you happen to live in a place where everyone else seems like they believe, but you should know that there are literally millions of people out there who are in the same boat as you are in terms of lack of belief or doubting your faith. And I would say, learn all there is you can learn about it, and let the evidence take you to whatever conclusion you get to.
All right, last question I have for you. Carl Sagan famously said, I don't want to believe, I want to know. Talk about why living a life of evidentialism and skepticism, why in the end it is more fulfilling to live a life based on knowledge and not based on faith.
A life based on faith is fraught with all sorts of problems. There are deities and spirits out there who watch you at every moment. They can read your mind. They're capricious. They don't have to obey the laws of physics. I got a lot more confident and fearless in the world once I figured out that the world operates on laws of physics and fairly predictable phenomena. Of course, we can't predict everything that's going to happen to us, but it really is a lot easier to walk through a world that is explainable than through a world that is dependent on emotional beliefs and things that clearly do not jive with what we see every day. I'm James Underdown, Executive Director of the Center for Inquiry in Los Angeles and the founder and chair of the Independent Investigations Group. I'm an atheist, I'm an agnostic, I'm a skeptic, and remember, we are all atheism.